Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Maikli lang po tong ating episode. Mai-share lang ako sa inyong isang bagong federal court ruling tungkol sa isang unsuccessful applicant for OINP. Okay, dalawa ang lesson na nakikita ko dito. Una sa lahat, pag ikaw ay nakakuha na ng invitation to apply, di ba? Huwag mo nang sayangin yung pagkakataon na yan. Ang dami naghihintay sa isang ITA, di ba? Wherein, after you receive it, you can apply for PR or secure rather your certificate of nomination. Di ba? Yan ang sunod na step dyan. So kapag may ITA ka na, sabi nga nila, dapat make sure as much as possible sa mga panahon ngayon lalo na perfect ang iyong application. Dahil talaga nangihigpit ang IRCC sa pag-a-assess na mga applications. Minsan, kahit the littlest errors, i-reject na lang nila. I-deny ang inyong application. That's one. Number two, okay, huwag kang magsinungaling. Huwag kang magsinungaling. Always be truthful sa mga impormasyon na nilalagay nyo dyan. O sige, i-share ko na, Tulad ng nasabi ko, may ITA na ito. Itong applicant na ito, nasayang pa. Nasayang. O sige, puntahan na natin. This is a federal court decision accessible by anybody online. Uploaded November 3, 2025. So, 1 week old lang, no? Okay, ito na. The applicant na na-refuse ng kanyang PR application, pumunta sa korte. Okay, dahil paninindigan niya na hindi siya nagsinungaling. Okay, so in short, ang naging desisyon po kasi hindi raw nagsasabi ng totoo sa kanyang job experience. Kumbaga may inconsistencies sa mga sinabit niyang dokumento tungkol sa kanyang employer, sa work hours niya, at sa kanyang salary. Okay, so guys, again, kailangan malinis lahat ng yan. Okay, so now he went to court seeking a judicial review. Sabi dito, the officer found that there were a number of inconsistencies in the documentation submitted by the applicant to support his Canadian work experience, at inisuhan naman daw ng procedural fairness letter. Yun nga lang, hindi pa rin nakumbinsi si officer. Okay, yung PFL po, binibigay po yan para bigyan ng pagkakataong magpaliwanag kapag may makitang halimbawa, inconsistency. Parang may question ako dito. Ipaliwanag mo nga kung bakit. Okay. Ito. The applicant's response to the PFL did not answer those concerns and even raised new ones. At dahil doon, ayun na nga, nireject ang kanyang application. Ito po ang storya. The applicant is a national of India na temporary resident na sa Canada. Gumawa po siya ng express entry profile based on his work experience at Bogle Metal Works as a full-time tool and die maker. Ito na. He submitted a PNP, application, Provincial Nomination Program, and on November 3, 2023, nakatanggap siya ng nomination from the province of Ontario. Ayan. Okay, so 1 month later, the applicant was invited to apply for PR under the PNP, having awarded 53 points for 2 years of Canadian work experience. O, ito na. So, ang dineclare niyang employer, again, yan, si Bogle Metal Works, full-time daw siya, tool and die maker. Okay, ang sabi niya, nagtrabaho daw siya dun from January 22 until February 2024. Mahigit 2 years lumalabas. Ito yung original niyang sinabi. Okay. His application included an undated letter of employment. Meron din siyang letter of offer na wala ring date. Meron siyang T4 slip for 2022, notice of assessment noong 2022, pay stubs from January 1 to 21 ng taong 2022, and December 2023 to January 2024. O, nakikita nyo na, yung pay stubs niya parang bungi-bungi yung time frame, yung time period kung kailan siya nagtrabaho. Okay. So, nung July 17, the officer requested that the applicant provide pay stubs doon sa 2 taon na sinasabi niya originally, na January 22 to Feb 2024, to substantiate his 2 years of work experience. Okay? The applicant responded to the request, clarifying that the work experience included in his application, sabi niya, nagre-represent naman daw ng 1 year na required work para sa kanyang application. Tapos, nagdagdag daw siya ng mga pay stubs, 19 na additional pay stubs. From December 2022 to April 2023, tapos isang pay stub for the week of August 19 to 25 nung taong 2023. Butas-butas pa rin, in short. Okay. Ito daw ang PFL na pinadala doon sa applicant. Okay. Although the applicant stated na meron siyang 1 year of Canadian work experience, his pay stubs only represented 8 months of work in 2023. Tapos ito parang may nakitang inconsistency yata sa isang pay stub. The pay stub dated December 6 noong 2023 is for the pay period December 25 to December 31 and indicates na yung applicant worked 40 hours in a week that included 2 statutory holidays, which were December 25 and 26, with no overtime pay. Nakita pa yun, tinan nyo yung inconsistency. Nagtrabaho ka, walang overtime pay on that holiday week. Tapos, the pay stubs also indicate that the applicant was paid weekly, which is contrary doon daw sa nakasulat sa letter of offer, which stated that he would be paid bi-weekly. Oh, sinabi dun sa letter of offer mo, bi-weekly ka papayagan, babayaran, bakit ang binibigyan mong pay stubs weekly? Tapos, nahanapan din, may isa pang pay stub na pinakita dito. Pay stubs in January 2022 show that the applicant was paid at an hourly wage of $17, which contradicts the hourly rate of $22 na nakasulat din dun sa kanyang letter of offer. Oh, meron ding discrepancy dun sa sweldo. Ayan. And the applicant was allowed to provide any further information to explain these inconsistencies. In response, eto na, nag-submit ang aplikante ng personal affidavit, tsaka affidavit from the employer. Okay. Yung affidavit niya, nung aplikante mismo, sinabi niya, ano daw, the inconsistencies were the result of an administrative error on the part of his employer, and that he submitted the pay stubs under the assumption that the original documents and the additional documents were correct. Ayan. Wala naman daw bad faith. Talagang may error lang sa pag-issue daw sa kanya. Okay. The employer's affidavit confirmed the applicant's employment. Okay. Tapos sinabi rin, hindi talagang tinaasan yung kanyang sweldo from 17 to 22. And his explanation that the inconsistencies in the pay stubs were caused by an administrative error. Umamin daw si employer na talaga nagkaroon ng admin error doon sa kanyang pay stub. Okay. At yun, hindi pa rin naging satisfied si immigration officer. Sabi niya, I am not satisfied that you meet the skilled work experience requirement because I am not satisfied on the balance of probabilities that the work you declared is genuine. Oh, by the way, si applicant daw, merong pang dagdag documentation na binigay ito. Submitted 2 affidavits from colleagues and a record of employment issued by Service Canada to show that the applicant's employment was genuine. Okay, meron pang gano'n, no? Document, government document pa, record of employment. Sabi niya, yung mga admin error daw, it should not lead automatically to a refusal sa mga ganitong sitwasyon. Okay? At dapat daw bigyan ng halaga yung ROE, ito yung dokumento from Service Canada na kanyang sinubmit. The ROE should be given significant weight in evaluating the merits of his application. Ngayon, puntahan natin itong side ni Judge. Okay, dito sa Federal Court. Napansin agad ni Judge, sabi niya, at the hearing of the application, yung side daw ng applicant made submissions directed at an entirely different argument. Ang biglang sinasabi daw, the decision is unreasonable and procedurally unfair. Hindi raw siya, sabi niya, sinabihan ng officer nung specific concern regarding his application. Hindi ba? Eh, di ba inisuhan nga siya ng PFL? Okay. Sabi niya, the officer failed to advise the applicant of his specific concern, which was that the applicant's employment with the employer was not genuine. So, ito ang sinabi ni officer doon sa kanyang final decision to deny. Ng IRCC to Sabi niya, at no time is an explanation provided as to how the admin error occurred. Okay, sinabi niya lang may admin error. Anong admin error? Paano ito nagresulta at bakit ito nagresulta sa discrepancies doon sa iyong pay stub? Nagtataka rin daw si officer bakit biglang may sumulpot na bagong letter of offer na later on sinubmit. Diba? Siguro ito yung nagpapaliwanag doon sa pagkakaiba sa sweldo. Okay? Kung totoo itong job na to, dapat sinama niya na siguro dyan early on para alam na agad yung kung bakit may pagkakaiba sa sweldo. $17 atas na-promote siguro, naging 22. Pero wala. Later on siya ginawa. Okay? At this point, para magdududa ka, kakaunsya ba siguro ni applicant ang employer who was more than willing to provide the necessary documents, no? To support itong petition for judicial review. That's just me. Okay? So, dahil nga daw dun sa conflicting information and inadequate explanations, I am not convinced that the employment as stated is genuine. So, ito ang sinabi ni Judge. Contrary to the applicant's submissions that the officer erred in failing to explain why he had concerns, the officer did just that. Binigyan naman daw ng pagkakataon ang aplikante to explain his side and it was clear kung ano yung concern ni officer. At ang sabi ni Judge, tulad ng sinabi ni officer at that time, applicants are advised that if an invitation to apply is issued, the applicant will need to show proof of the information provided in the profile. The applicant was ultimately unable to do so. So, ayun, that is it. What do you guys think, no? Napakasimple lang actually ng story, guys. Be consistent with everything that you put in your application, no? It's clear talaga. Mahirap na ngayon, okay? Magkaroon pa ng mga ganyang errors, kung totoong error yan sa inyong application. Kasi kung totoo kung totoo yung sinasabi ni applicant, diba, ang laking sayang ng opportunity, meron na siyang ITA, he wasted it out of what? Negligence. Kung totoo yung kwento niya, di ba? But nonetheless, kung hindi totoo, it's a lesson learned, do not lie. Okay, mahuhuli at mahuhuli kayo. You see how meticulous the IRCC officer was, ano? Yung dates, sinecheck niya. So you worked on a holiday? Tapos hindi ka OTP? Yung mga ganyan, no? Very meticulous. So, yun lang. I will end this episode here. Let me know what you guys think. Kung meron kayong similar story tungkol dyan, put them down there in the comment section, okay? Bye, guys! See you in the next one!